Hi there, welcome to another text and talk about the Twitter and Reddit news about this week. There wasn't that much on Twitter, but there was quite a lot on Reddit. I'm serious, man. Oh God. Reddit is such a great place. If you're not already there, join Reddit. But let's start with our good Sylphae and her horse portrait's dimorphism. What is a dimorphism? It just makes males and females look differently. And it's a great work from Sylphae, again with another great mod from her. So, let's continue. Let's see what's up there. There is a guy or a girl actually making a diary of their Stellaris games with beautiful pictures, with beautiful paintings. It's really great. I'd love to see all of that diary. And you can too. I mean, if you follow Stellaris Game and the links there, then have a look at that. Have a look who published that originally, and yeah, make sure to follow them. I'd certainly be happy for more art coming. Maybe they can even flesh out the art. But we also, of course, have Utopia news. So what do we have here? Another new campaign of Martin Unward on his weekend playing. They have an agrarian idol, a technocracy. So there's another two civics perks showing up, like the agrarian idol and the technocracy. Possible through fanatic pacifist, materialist, and probably agrarian and intelligent too, and non-adaptive. We just want to be left alone to grow our fields and think about things. That's some thoughtful plans here. Very nice. I'm pretty excited for Utopia coming, and I'll show you why later in the video. It's because of the Reddit AMA too. A lot we could find about the future of Stellaris and all. Now let's go through a little glimpses that we got anymore. So anomalies are going to be slightly reworked. The failure risk is going to be the same if they're the same level. No more level 1 anomalies being harder than level 4 ones. I think that's a very nice change to keep the game like a little bit simple. Because you were never sure what the real risk was and why that risk was like that, and so on. Yeah, now you can just go with the flow, and like the harder anomalies will just have the higher level. And that's a totally logical thing, because, yeah. I mean, you could have anomaly levels level 1 that would be very hard, and they would be even harder if they would be level 3, 4, 5, but they could not go above a certain threshold of failure risk, which makes the whole mix-up not have sense. You could just start with a higher anomaly level to increase the failure risk. So there's that. It's a very logical choice. I mean, I can see why it was straightforward thinking at the start, but this change makes it really better. So good work here. Then we have something from Daniel Moragard, another game designer of the Stellaris game, one of the most important ones, also playing. And he's a defender of the galaxy now, which is very good against endgame crisis. You can see here that the damage to Brethren, Unbidden, Aberrant, the Vehement, the AI rebels are a lot increased, and everyone's opinion is also increased as star nations vie with another in petty disputes. Sinister forces of unimaginable power are arraying themselves against all sentient life. Who will protect us? That's the question here. In this game he's playing, and it's extremely interesting. And of course he has got all the traditions because he's testing things too. So, and there is another thing coming. Yes, the Reddit AMA, I've read through it. It was absolutely amazing. And yeah, I won't go with all screenshots from all users of you have to go there. I've linked the Reddit in the Reddit thread in the description. It really pays off to get lost in there. I mean, I have made a little write-up of what actually will change and how it will change in Stellaris. And I'm sorry, I've got a pretty big cold. I'm just presenting that to you there and discussing it a bit. So there we go. It was a lot to read, but it was very interesting. I'm very thankful for Reddit being so active. So yeah, well, I cannot say it enough. Join Reddit. It's a great community. So, what was there about General Stellaris was with his next favorite feature would be doomsday weapons. So maybe the Star Destroyers from Master of Orion 2 are coming back. Then there are very, very good and very straightforward plans to include a great espionage system. That needs to be worked out though, probably with an expansion. But espionage is on their list, definitely. It's something that will be added to Stellaris in the future. Also, they may look into the possibility of ship personalities and ship moral in robot civilizations, which makes sense if you've read the culture novels by Rankin. By Banks, I mean. Oh my god. And then ships getting priority targets is being worked on. So, not that you have like the total crazy ship versus ship combat, like Doom Fleet against Doom Fleet, 100k against 100k. And there is, let's say, some enemy construction ships and mining stations near. And of course, the ships fire at these instead of eliminating the much more dangerous force of the opponents. Then leaders may get even more personality. There is something in there that they may have decisions or something like that, and maybe different traits coming. Was the questions multiple people asked, and most of these things I have here were asked by multiple people in one way or another, so I've just made the write-up there. And looking into the problem of the 3 different FTL methods, faster than light methods, that will cause problems in larger scope games for the player instead of being a cool addition to the gameplay. So, Wiz is he doesn't want to take away the 3 different FTL methods. He just wants them to make a cool feature, which they are at the moment probably not, because you lose sight of who can do in a very large game, and then nothing makes sense anymore. So some basic trade mechanics will be added in time, but nothing really complex, so it's not going to be the next EU4 in trade mechanics, but there will be something added. But I mean, you never know. If Stellaris is alive 5 years from now, maybe, and which is certainly possible, maybe it will go into that direction as well. You never know. I mean, EU4 is a very complex game, but it has been developed into that direction. It wasn't as complex as it is today at the start, so maybe Stellaris will surprise us. Then Endgame Crisis and Mechanics will have another rework balancing to make them better. Because, yeah, there's a couple of issues with the AI reacting to them, even though that has improved much, and with the AI of the Endgame Crisis as well. In one of my recent games in the Let's Play, the Unbidden have lost out very big when they could, in reality, I'm sure they could have swept through a very big part of the galaxy, but they were just eliminated because they left Their gate alone, with all their fleets, they were like somewhere else with all their fleets, and then their gate was destroyed, and boom. That was it. Then more and different ascension paths will come in other DLCs and expansions. Of course, yeah, that's going to be that's a logical thing that can be added. Trying to get the feature to restore ring worlds will be done in 1.6, so it's probably something like an archaeological endeavor, maybe bound to some ascension paths. The new robot portraits are on the list. Yeah, that's something that is absolutely logical. If you have the ascension path, the synth transformation robotic ascension path, then you, of course, want new robot portraits. And they are on the list, so they are getting work done. Probably we'll have a visual DLC for $5 whatever dollars or euros with robot portraits coming. I could imagine that. Then ground combat rework is planned, but in the more distant future. So they're looking at that. But yeah, it's more of a general outlook later on. There are more glaring things they have to look after. And maybe someday we'll be able to play as space nomads and not only experience them in the game. I think that would be something similar to the barbarians in Civ. It would be nice to play them, but it's a different game. Then a fleet builder manager, similar to the EU4 army ship builder, is planned but will not be released quickly. So it is in the plans, but it is not a priority too. But it's definitely on the list, and it's getting added because yeah, you lose you lose the overview, and in the end game you're just clicking everywhere and just adding like, oh yeah, give me 10 ships of this, 10 ships of this. It would be really improved by a fleet builder manager. Then fleshing out ethics mechanically and roleplay is planned. So ethics will have more consequences mechanically and roleplayish. Instead of adding what was added by Beauregard in one of Twitter posts, instead of adding just modifiers, it will probably add some special abilities you can have there. So, and you will be able to rename genetically modified species in the more distant future. They'll try to add that because it's a cool feature, but not instantly there. Maybe if something of the ascension path gets fleshed out by an expansion, like the biological one, that would make sense. Then sector and planet uniqueness may be fleshed out in tendency, but only a bit. It's not a priority and shouldn't be overwhelming like in Crusader Kings, where it absolutely makes sense. So Wiz doesn't know if it really makes sense in Stellaris, as it's a much larger scope you're looking there, not at a person and another person, like more of a universe thing. So it's hard to get individualities there. I mean, there's already a good planet uniqueness. Then editing key bindings may be added to the game. It's definitely a possibility. It will be probably added at some point or another, and I'm sure there's a mod for that too. A war-focused expansion will definitely come someday. That's something Wiz has said, and it absolutely makes sense to have more possibilities for war in that game. Because, yeah, remember EU4 or Crusader Kings, there are so many options for different wars on so many levels. I mean, let's go back to the espionage system. There can be wars with that included. There can be wars about planets. There can be wars about ethics changes. All of that is definitely a thing that will be open for, yeah, that expansion. Also, maybe totally different kinds of fleets or different kinds of leaders for war, maybe in the planning. So they will fix a couple of multiplayer exploits mentioned in the AMA, but nothing major to improve multiplayer in banks. in the Banks patch. So they are working on it a bit, like the most glaring errors, but it's not on their total agenda. It's not a focus. It's more like oh, there's an exploit, we have to fix that, then we'll fix it. And they're of course working on general stability and all. That's of course, yeah. I could have removed that number. Then specifically Utopia and Banks 1.5. There's robotic ascension, synth transformation. Synth-worked farms will become power plants once you have the synth transformation complete, and synth pops will have to be built. So no more automatic thing. So if you have rapid breeders, yeah, that won't bring you anything anymore after the synth transformation. Then connected to that, in synthetic ascension path, like the robotic synthetic ascension path, you can be selective in which species of your empire or which species of your empire will be cybernetic or robots in the future. So there is going to be that thing that you have a coexistence of biological and synthetics, and maybe you can also go 2 paths, right? I don't know how it works exactly, so you can genetically improve your guys and also have robotic species with you. So the faction system can and will work similarly to a parliament system sometimes. So in influencing your decisions, you'll have to look at these things definitely, and it will help to take that into consideration. And you will have to play with a faction or against the faction or around the faction. And it will make a difference from the story and from the gameplay. Then, and about the end game, Crisis AI will be improved for both Crisis and the AI, something that I've also mentioned in general Stellaris. And there will be new Federation mechanics, maybe along the lines to unify them as one empire. So that might be possible to unify all under a flag, and then like the United States of Space. I think that sounds awesome. Then missiles are getting buffed in 1.5. They will be reworked in 1.6 probably. I should have put that to General Stellaris, but it's good to know that something will be done about missiles that are generally very ineffective at the moment. Then Gene Warriors, they will be exclusive to biological ascension. Similarly, Psi Warriors and armies are exclusive to psionic ascension path, which makes sense. There's not yet robot armies exclusive to the synthetic ascension path. Rather, they are available to a broader number of things. Maybe they will get something special too, but that's not there yet. Then each system, about megastructures, each system can only have a single megastructure. So if you want to have 5 new different megastructures, then you will have to have a lot of systems too. Difference to that is habitats. Each system can have multiple, or more, maybe not each system, depending on the system. Systems in general can have multiple habitats. So I hope you enjoyed this. I think it was a great thing. I mean, I've read pages and pages of the Stellaris Reddit AMA. There's much more in there. Also, it's interesting to learn something about Wiz personally, what his favorites are, what his vision is in general, in more colorful words, in who he's working with and who has inspired him, and all of that about the Stellaris game. So it really is good to go there, read it, if you're really deeply interested in that, and in the mind of Wiz, one of the great Stellaris designers, not really designers, but Stellaris, yeah, progress leaders, I don't know. So about that. So if you like that, then I'd recommend you subscribe to the channel. I'm regularly posting some news about the dev diaries, of course. That is weekly. If the dev diaries are weekly, it's usually on the same day, except when I'm on holiday, but that's very rarely, as I'm self-employed too and never have holidays there. And yeah, of course, things like this, like the Twitter and Reddit news of the week. I've included Reddit here. I'm usually only using Twitter because Reddit is so much. You really have to delve in deep, and it really belongs to Reddit. It's the Reddit thing. You have to go there, look at it, and be a part of it. That's because of that I'm using more the traditional news outlet thing, Twitter, and in Reddit. Of course, I'm in Reddit too, but yeah, the main platform is YouTube, because of course I want to publish videos, and yeah, if you want to follow me, I'm happy to have you here. And yeah, there will be more Stellaris coming to at Utopia. There will be a community project again. This time it will work out better with the species portraits, and yeah, that will develop into a great let's play. I've already made my mind up what the species will be that I'm going to play out, and of course there will be a focus on the other empires as well. I'm usually giving the spotlight to them by talking about them and for a while. So that's something that's going on. There's one finished, completed let's play of a original version of Stellaris, the Cthulhu Myth, and there's another ongoing one that's deep in the end game, and there's some guides. So if you're interested in Stellaris generally and like these regular news posts, then just join. I'd be happy to have you here. Just subscribe, and happy gaming to you. See you in one of the next episodes of whatever. Have a good time until then. This is Immanuel signing out.